Hey, good day everyone. Welcome to my channel, Mathematics of Today's Generation. Kung bago ka pa lang dito sa channel ko, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. At pakihit na rin sa notification bell para updated kayo sa mga panibagong videos na i-upload ko. Okay, by the way, if you are a mathematics contestant, a math coach, or a mathematics enthusiast, then this tutorial is for you. Okay, without further ado, let's begin. We are now on problem number 24. A number theory problem number 6. So this problem is a repurposed version of the previous Philippine Mathematical Olympiad. And before we solve this problem, let us have first a short review on the very important concepts that are helpful in solving this problem. So recall first the definition of congruence module N. So we have here A is congruent to B modulo N if and only if N divides A minus B. Okay, so here B stands for the remainder. The A is our dividend. And N is our divisor. Such that this relationship must be satisfied. So we're going to have first example for this. Example number 1. So we have 6 is congruent to 1 modulo 5. Since 5 divides 6 minus 1, and 6 minus 1, that is equal to 5. So 5 divides 5. Another example, we have 10 is congruent to 1 modulo 3 because 3 divides 10 minus 1, and 10 minus 1 is 9, so 3 divides 9. Another example, so we have 25 is congruent to 2 modulo 23 because 23 divides 25 minus 2. 25 minus 2 is equal to 23, and 23 divides 23. Okay, so let's have another important concept. So the properties of congruence modulo N. So we have here the properties. So the first property that is useful in solving this problem is this one. If A is congruent to B modulo N, and if B is congruent to C modulo N, then A is congruent to C modulo N. So it means transitive property is holds in this manner. Number 2, a property, if A is congruent to B modulo N, then erasing both sides of that congruence. So for example, we erase both sides by A. So A to the K is congruent to B to the K modulo N. Okay, so these are the properties that are applicable in solving that problem. Okay, also, since we do not have space here, I'm going to clean this board, and we're going to have a short recall on Euler's theorem. Okay, so we are now on Euler's theorem. So Euler's theorem states that for any A and N, where GCD of A and N is equal to 1, so it means A and N are relatively prime, then this relationship A raised to P of n is congruent to 1 modulo n. So it means the remainder is equal to 1 where A and n are relatively prime. And P of n here stands for the Euler's quotient function or Euler's free function. Let us have its definition. Okay. P of n is the number of positive integers less than n that are relatively prime to n. Okay, so it means we are going to count only those integers or positive integers that are relatively prime to n, and that would be the Euler's quotient function. Now, let us also recall on how to get the Euler's quotient function. The most familiar for me is this one. If n can be expressed into its prime factorization or in canonical form as p sub 1 raised to m1 times p sub 2 raised to m2 times up to p sub k raised to mk, then we can compute the Euler's quotient function p of n is equal to n times 1 minus 1 over p sub 1 times 1 minus 1 over p sub 2 times up to 1 minus 1 over p sub k. So this is the formula that we're going to use in order to find the Euler's quotient function. So let us have example for this. Okay, for example, okay, we want to find the numbers or positive integers relatively prime to n is equal to, shall we say, 14. Okay, so we now have P of 14 is equal to, and take note that 14 can be expressed as 2 times 7. So therefore, this is equal to 14 times 1 minus 1 half times 1 minus 1 over 7. And simplifying this, we now have 14 times 1 minus 1 half is 1 half. Then 1 minus 1 over 7, so we have 6 over 7. Then 6 divided by 2, we have 3. And 14 divided by 7, we have 2. And 2 times 3 is equal to 6. So this means that there are 6 positive integers less than 14 that are relatively prime to 14. So namely, by listing those positive integers, we have 1, 3, 5, 9, 11, and 13. So these are the 6 positive integers less than 14 and relatively prime to 14. Okay, so much for this. Okay, let's have now the problem. Okay, since we do not have space here, I'll clean up the board and we're going to start solving the problem. Okay, so for our solution, okay, let us start by finding the P of 26. So we now have n equals 26. And take note that 26 can be written as 2 times 13. So now, P of 26 is equal to 26 times 1 minus 1 half times 1 minus 1 over 13. Then simplifying this, we have 26 times 1 minus 1 half, so we have 1 half. Then 1 minus 1 over 13, so we have 12 over 13. Then 12 divided by 2, so we have 6. And 26 divided by 13, so we have 2. Then 2 times 6, so we have 12. So therefore, P of 26 is equal to 12. This means that there are 12 positive integers less than 26 that are relatively prime to 26. So now, Okay, using the Euler's theorem, we get 2023 raised to 12 is congruent to 1 modulo 26. So from here, okay, by applying the property or properties that we have discussed, so this follows that we have 2023 raised to 12, okay, raised to 12 raised to 2022 is congruent to 1 raised to 12 raised to 2022, okay, modulo 26. Okay, then we have, okay, this follows that, okay, 2023, okay, by applying the power by power rule, okay, then, okay, product of powers in the exponent, so we now have 12 raised to 2023 because we have 1 plus 2022, so we have 2023 is congruent to, okay, take note that 1 raised to any number, so the result would be 1, okay, modulo 26. Okay, now, okay, we have 1 as the remainder, okay, when this number is divided by 26. So, and I think, okay, this is the good place to stop.